Hi, well we're looking at the patch of ground with the crown prince squash, and I've counted about 12 squash on 3 plants, and the foliage is in really good condition here. The foliage on the no dig border squash has just about all died back, but this is in really good condition still. I've dug my thumbnail into the neck of a couple of these squash, and they're not completely hard. They're a little bit soft still, but I'm still minded to take them off. We've got a lovely day today, but the downside to having nice hot days at this time of the season is that the nights are quite cold, and I think we've had a touch of frost this week. I don't think it was too biting. I've noticed a little bit of frost burning or damage on some of the dwarf bean plants, but it's too much of a risk really to leave them in the ground for much longer, so I'm going to take them up and they can sit in the greenhouse and cure for the next few weeks. So we've got the crown prince here, and if I turn round you'll see that the foliage on the butternut squash, that's all but died back now, and these are the butternut squash hunter, the variety hunter, and it's a really nice squash is this one, and there are many more down the no dig border, and then up at the top there, sat beneath the sunflowers, are the orangey red ushikikuri. So I'm going to make a start, and I'm going to take off the butternut squash first, I think, so we'll get on with that now. And there we go, that's the first barrow load of squash for 2018, 35 butternut squash. And if we take a closer look, we'll see that we've got a mixture of sizes. The ones at the back are really big. These are the ones that were thrown off towards the back end of the summer, and they're easily, some of them, about 2 kilograms I would say. The ones at the back there, you see they're massive, almost like marrows, they're that big. Hopefully they'll cure okay and they'll be okay to eat. And then in the middle, at the bottom, we've got some, I guess they're about 1 kilogram, the fruits here, and they're nice as well. Enough for 2 meals there, unless you were going to do a stew or something like that. And then we've got quite a few that are just a little bit smaller, and some diddy ones at the front, which are like pear size really, I guess, but they'll all be eaten. I would say 2/3 of them are already a nice golden yellow, and then the bigger ones at the back, you can still see the green striping, they need to cure. We won't eat any of these probably for about 6 weeks, and then for a month or so we'll eat them, and then we'll freeze the remainder. Right, so we'll get the ushiki kuri harvested now. And to add to the 35 butternut, we've got 20 red ushiki kuri, and these are all very consistent in terms of size, and I would say each one is probably about 1 kilo in weight. Some possibly a little bit more, some a little bit less, but they're all ripe, I would say, or thereabouts. And now for the crown prince, and there we are, 11. So not as productive in terms of number, but in terms of beauty and weight, they're really good, I think, because I would say each one of these probably weighs the best part of 3 kilo, and a couple of these at the back, well, they're easily that. So there we have it, this year's harvest of squash, and it's a good harvest, I would say. All of the fruits are pretty consistent, with the exception of the butternut squash, which vary, which is quite interesting really. They vary from small, and they were the first to set, to medium-sized, substantial 1 kilogram fruits, and they were probably in the middle of the season, and then the large ones towards the back end of the summer, when we started to have some rain and some moisture in the ground. So it's quite telling really, just how the weather affects even one crop, a single crop, during the course of a season. So 66 squash. I don't think we can complain about that. Well, I'm not complaining anyway, because they all look beautiful, especially the Crown Prince, and I understand that they're one of the tastiest squash as well. So I'm off into one of the greenhouses now with these. If I can fit them in, I might need to use two to give them a couple of weeks, maybe a month to cure. Okay, catch you later. Hi again. Hope you enjoyed that harvest. I did. Colourful, aren't the squash? And a great return on very little investment, really. A handful of seeds and probably a couple of 100 kilo of squash to last us through the winter, so you can't complain. It's a beautiful afternoon this afternoon, a little bit breezy. But to round this update off, I thought I'd just bring you into the greenhouse on the third plot. And I've put two benching systems in here. One is just a do-it-yourself tabletop constructed out of tannalised decking boards, and it rests on two plastic sawhorses. And this has the watering trays with salads and what have you that I'm continuing to sow. And you can see that they're all doing nicely. We've got some mixed spicy oriental leaf here on the right at the top, and some red and green lettuce at the back. This is all cut and come again lettuce. I've sown some parsley at the back there, it's just coming through, some more spring onions. Here we've got some pak choy and tatsoi, I think it is. And then with another two trays of spicy oriental greens and mixed red and green salad. So the salad at the end there should be ready within the next week to 10 days, and then we should be able to continue in succession a couple of weeks later with these two trays. And then I'm going to get some more sown this week, and then probably the last one the week after, and stops growing in January, February, and then picks up again at the start of March, if the winter's kind to us anyway. And at the other side I've got some staging. It's got two levels on it. This came with one of the greenhouses, one of the second-hand greenhouses that I bought, and I'm going to continue to sow some things on here as well. But for the time being, this is going to be home to the squash, and we may struggle to get them all on, we'll see, but they'll probably be here for 3 or 4 weeks, and then I'll start and take them home. My cousin will have some as well. But yeah, that's the 10 by 10 greenhouse on the third plot. A few apples here, windfall baking apples, Belle de Boscop, and yeah, that's just about it for this update. Not a particularly long one, I don't think, but nice this time of year to take the squash up. It does mean that you're removing some of the last plants from the ground, but we've still got a few things growing on. But yeah, that's it for this update. So thank you very much for watching and for subscribing, and I really appreciate your comments. They're always really nice or constructive, if you know they're not necessarily supportive or positive. So thanks very much, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Cheers.